New England Law Board of Trustees, Dean Kennedy, professors, friends and family, and most importantly, my classmates. You might be thinking as you see me up here, this girl, really? If you're over 40 or so, perhaps you know me as Kristina Rex, my maiden name, the girl you see on Channel 4 covering the Karen Reed trial. Hold on now. If you're a bit younger, perhaps I'm that girl who pops up on your TikTok For You page, your Instagram algorithm, again, talking about Karen Reed. If you've ever had a class with me, you certainly know me as the girl who runs in a few minutes late, out of breath, a little overdressed after work, and clearly frazzled after fighting Boston rush hour traffic. I say this all in an attempt to be self-deprecating, because truth be told, I feel a bit of imposter syndrome standing up here today, expected to represent the 2025 class of part-time and flex students. The truth is, I wasn't very socially involved here at New England Law. I came to class, I did my work, and I left. I hit up the occasional barrister's ball, but I wasn't on law review and I wasn't in any clubs. Then I thought, I'm up here expected to represent part-time students who, like me, already have so much going on in their lives. So for anybody graduating today, if you could please indulge me and raise your hand if you've done any of the following things during our 4 years or 3 years in law school. Have you moved homes or apartments? Have you traveled outside the country? Have you worked a part-time or a full-time job? Have you fallen in love? There we go. Gotten engaged or married? Attended a wedding? Been a parent to children? Become a parent for the first time? And had an internship. I feel like this is a free, yeah, there we go. Exactly. So I did a little math, and in my 4 years as a student here at New England Law, I personally have worked full-time in person as a journalist. I've gotten married, I bought my first home, renovated that home, been a maid of honor in 2 weddings, attended at least 12 weddings, traveled abroad, covered not 1 but 2 Karen Reed trials, became an auntie, and lately grown my first baby inside of me 54% of the way. I don't say this to brag, this is just life when you choose to start law school when you're a little bit older, part-time. Here at New England Law, one of my classmates and dear friends is a phenomenal stepmother to 2 kids. Another is a flight attendant. She literally gets off planes at Logan and rushes to class. Another is the first ever student prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office in federal court here in Massachusetts. Another is a father who cared for a sick newborn after birth while attending school. Several of you are parents, partners, paralegals, and to put it bluntly, just busy people. That's been the reality of my experience here, meeting new people and being constantly impressed by how much they're able to juggle. And while we have experienced so many changes in our lives in these 3 or 4 years, so has the law. Remember Roe versus Wade? Affirmative action, diversity, equity, and inclusion, when presidential immunity was far more limited? These are now distant memories of 1L year, and truth be told, a large portion of what we learned in constitutional law is simply no longer law. What's my point? The law has been through so many changes, and so have we. And whether we find those legal changes to be positive or not, I'm of the belief that the best place to be is in the room where decisions are made. Thanks to our legal education, we now have the power to step inside those rooms. I'm sure many of us have cracked a joke or complained about New England Law at some point. Yeah, don't deny it. I talked to a lot of you at our senior reception. I know you have. You know, occasional complete Wi-Fi failures, system glitches that might convince you your degree audit is incomplete, or the professor you wish stayed but who moved on to perceived greener pastures. But I have to give credit where credit is due. This is one of only a handful of law schools in the Northeast that makes a part-time or even flexible schedule education possible. That access is the reason my classmates are mothers and fathers and paralegals and professionals and teachers and flight attendants and more. And while I will never give you my personal opinion of the Karen Reed trial, despite your many requests, I will give you this personal opinion. The field of law is better when there are more people of diverse backgrounds given a seat at the table. And I credit New England Law with graduating hundreds of students today from diverse backgrounds of all ages and life experience who will make this field better. Wouldn't we be so lucky if other institutions lowered the financial or institutional bar, pun intended, for access to bring more ideas and more backgrounds into this profession? So for that reason, I say thank you, New England Law, for the opportunity. Someone with my career and my position never would have been able to finish law school if not for the opportunities this school provided. So maybe my imposter syndrome is legit, or maybe a lot of us feel this way. To my classmates, thank you for being so inspiring. I'm sure you had a village that helped you survive law school. So to your village, who I hope is here in the audience, thank you. As for my village, I'd especially like to thank my coworkers who let me sneak out early or read homework during a long car ride, my friends who tolerated a very antisocial version of me, my family and my in-laws who supported me every step of the way, especially my mom and my sister who kept me fed and lowered my stress when possible, and my husband Dan who did so much of the grocery shopping, meal prepping, and spent so many nights alone as I pursued this dream while also being my biggest supporter. To the class of 2025, my wish for you is that you step into every room where decisions are being made, every courtroom, every boardroom, you name it. Know that you're meant to be exactly where you are and exactly where you're going. The practice of law is a better place because you're becoming a part of it. Celebrate today, be grateful, enjoy your summer, and perhaps most importantly right now, crush the bar. Say it back. Say it back. Thank you. Thanks, team.
Thank you, Kristina, and congratulations.